Hello, my name is Chris Bennett, and this is a special message to Yehuda Berg and his friends and his family about what you've been going through. And I think there's some radical solutions right around the corner, which is exactly why I'm holding this book up right here. So, Zachary Levi believes in the mission that is in your document that you wrote, 2012 and beyond. So, but the fact is, there's a lot of people out here that believe in that mission, and they're not coming together, and they're not working together, and they're getting interrupted and burdened, just like all of us, by these dogs. Okay? No consideration. We all are being stalked by a bunch of dogs. Different kinds of dogs. We got the dogs of poverty. We got the dogs of liars. We got the dogs of abusers. We got the dogs of economic problems. We got the dogs of anxiety, anger, depression. So, we're being stalked by these dogs. They're like hyenas. So, but occasionally we get this break in between, and we get an opportunity to communicate something really important. And occasionally these windows open up where we can make something special happen. So, what's in your document 2012? I found it in 2012, or maybe 2011, around then. Started reading it. Zachary Levi, just a couple years ago, came into the same kind of radical realization. Suddenly, wow, if everybody on the planet dealt with, I'll read what it says. I'm not an expert, therapist, pastor, teacher, or monk. I am merely a person going through my own mental and emotional health journey, hoping that I can pass on some of the wisdom and tools that I've been blessed enough to learn along the way. And I truly believe that if we can help heal the hearts and minds of everyone on earth, we will solve every other problem known to man in the process. Zachary Levi. So now he's been talking about that. He's the best person I've ever heard in 20 years at talking about post-traumatic stress. And he's seen what the cure is. Okay, but he hasn't achieved it yet. But I could tell him, because I'm going to be getting this video to him, exactly why. Why haven't you been able to shake it off? That feeling like he's super depressed. So he's still taking antidepressants after feeling totally suicidal a few years ago, after leaving Hollywood behind because he realized he was getting abused by the executives and overworked, 100-hour work weeks. He became suicidal, depressed. Luckily, he went through a month-long intensive therapeutic program with very healthy living also, and went through a process of just realizing that all the stuff he had been through when he was a kid with his family had not really been ever talked about or addressed. So 20 years ago, I went through the same process of realizing I had total amnesia from my childhood. And I had already been working on, scratching that itch, breaking down that wall. So Jared Padalecki, he's got some really good scenes in his TV show about that. We got to watch them and talk about the issue. So I got stacks of health books, which I put together in the last 20 years on this subject about what the cure is. So I'm going to go through a few of them. But 2012. So it's the 2012 document, which we have a window of opportunity to do right now. There's people that believe in the same vision. Chief Arvol Looking Horse, head of the Lakota Nation. I talked to him and his wife, and I invited them. They need radical healing, their tribe. His daughter and his brother are in big trouble, health-wise, from traumatic experiences. Okay, shouldn't be a secret. Head of over 100,000 Native Americans who also need healing. And he knows the cure, but he doesn't know how to get it into people. And so that's what I figured out how to do. So I talk more about him in the lighting the eighth fire. So he's been saying for 35 years we could have world peace and global healing. And he's talking about lighting the eighth fire. And I talked about that in several videos. I hope you'll watch them. So, but it says the same thing of this 2012 document, which I've been carrying around for 11 years or 12 years. So I'm gonna read a little bit of it. All these people need it and believe in it and want it. And so my idea is to bring them all together in the Grand Canyon. My friends there need healing. Kiowa Gordon's great-grandfather, 80 or so years ago, he stood up and said, my people are being mistreated and this needs to stop and we need fair treatment. Now, his family is getting abused by the criminals' justice system, which is targeting them and putting them in and out of jail for addictions when they should be getting sympathetic therapeutic treatment. So I talked to them. I haven't heard from them in 4 days because 2 of them may be in jail now. One was for sure. Okay, in the Hualapai Reservation. They're putting their own people in jail. That's abuse. I went into that in the video to Kiowa Gordon, invitation to Kiowa Gordon. So he needs the healing that you guys are experts on. This is a special message to the people in your community. Kabbalah. Okay, I'm very new to it. I've seen a few of your videos, but I can tell you're doing fantastic work, and so you've been on my to-do list for 10 years. Over 10, well, 11, 12 years. So I discovered you guys 12 years ago. I talked to somebody in your organization down in Florida once. But here's what I'm getting to. This is what's super, super critical. So there's a possibility that you have all been targeted by a concerted, intentional slander campaign, and that incident that you went through was just a total fabrication, and based on the fact that you were healing critical people in Hollywood and you were going to come together and say, hey, we can all heal the whole world. And what happens to people when they say that? Like John Lennon, JFK, RFK, you know, that was their philosophy. So my really good friend, Erwin Pardue, I've got his card right nearby here. Okay, he was, dang it, in the CIA under JFK. And so he said that they killed him because of the Bay of Pigs. And so why is that relevant to you? Because the same system is very threatened by your work, and I was going to join forces and create a TV show to put your ideas in primetime TV. Right there. Start on that mission way before 2012. So we have an opportunity to do it again. All right? Right here, Erwin Pardue. Erwin Pardue, very critical person in history because he told me what's going on at the highest levels. Judy Lira and Pardue and Associates. Right here. You can pause it if you want to zoom in. Judy Lira and Pardue and Associates, they met Osama bin Laden in Judy's house in Los Angeles, which I was at many times. Why is this all relevant to you? Well, because every time I try to pull all these people together to create a TV show to heal the world, which is that 2012 document, stuff starts happening to them. And a few years ago, I started to figure out it was not an accident. So, but if we all come together, we can rectify all that terrible stuff that happened to you. You know, the attorney that ended up helping the Kabbalah Center, look him up. He was part of this Phi Delta, thing at the universities that a bunch of really bad people from the Council on Foreign Relations are part of in history. Some of the worst people in history are part of that fraternity. So that's where they start out in high school recruiting these people. Kiowa Gordon.